This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Cabo Jim Schaller.
Welcome, good neighbors, to episode number 186 of the Good Neighbor Podcast, Estero. Today we have good neighbor Gabriella Vann from Zero Gravity Dance Center.
Hi.
How you doing? And we got our sidekick today.
Yes, we have a sidekick today.
Hi.
I
So adorable. There we go. So why don't you start off by sharing a little bit about what you do over at Zero Gravity Dance Center?
Yes, I'd love to. So I'm the owner and artistic director of Zero Gravity Dance Center. So I'm doing things front of scenes, behind the scenes, kind of everything in between. So I teach a lot of the dance classes at the studio. That's right. I teach a lot of the dance classes at the dance studio. And then I'm always just like working with finding guest artists and going to conventions, competitions, just trying to get all the kids integrated into the dance scene as much as I can. But yeah, I'm kind of a little bit all over with the studio.
That's busy. Sounds like a busy schedule. So how did you get involved in dance and owning your own business?
Oh, good question. So I got involved with dance because when I was 6, we moved down to the Florida Keys and they didn't have a gymnastics gym. They just had a local dance studio that taught acrobatics. So started in acro, and then I ended up taking a dance class and fell in love and continued it all the way. Went to Performing Arts High School, went to college for dance. And then after I graduated, I taught a couple studios, and I loved where I was at, but I felt like there was more we could do to really build better communities for dancers and a safe place that everybody feels accepted no matter where you come from or what you do. And so I just decided decided to take the leap in 2020 to just start my own thing, which is kind of crazy because I started it during COVID, but
oh, wow.
Here we are 4 years later.
So talk about challenges. I mean, obviously going through that and starting up a business at that time is challenging. Has there been other things or obstacles along your journey to get this up and going?
So yeah, I think the most challenging thing was opening during COVID, because obviously we wanted everybody to feel safe as much as, we're all just trying to get the news and information as it came day by day. So it was kind of hard because we had to have, very small classes and a lot of protocols to go with the CDC guidelines. But what I realized is that because we started so small and so intimate, in the sense that everybody saw me and my staff, we truly cared for the kids and the families, that they realized this isn't just some churn and burn dance studio that's just trying to take advantage and just send kids out and potentially have a good hobby, that I actually was there to teach more than just dance. So I think that was one of the biggest challenge. And two, is just, dealing with different personalities and people. I feel like no matter how good you do in life, you won't make everybody happy. But as long as you try your best to send positivity and light everywhere, then good things come to you. So I guess the hardest thing would have been dealing with different personalities. And
yes, it's never easy. It's never easy. But like you said, you push through, you do your best to provide the customer service and the level, people will appreciate that. So are there any maybe myths or maybe misconceptions surrounding the dance industry that we could clear up for our listeners?
I think there's a couple of misconceptions. I feel like there's a lot of body negativity that a lot of people, kind of like in movies or anything, just anything that's in the arts. I feel like a lot of people feel like there is a lot of psychological damage that like instructors or coaches or people who are casting directors do, because they're always looking for a type. But I feel like we've actually been breaking those barriers, and there isn't that misconception. I feel like we really start living and breathing that every person's beautiful. Everybody has a potential to hit any goal that they set for themselves. So I feel like blowing that misconception out of the water, because the whole point about dancing is just to breathe the music and make it come to life so people can have a visual that goes alongside that music. And I just think the artistry of just finding everybody's individuality is just something that's so amazing, and more people need to tap into. And besides, who doesn't love to dance? I see everybody dancing.
I love it. I love it. You got to express yourself and be free and be happy. Show your personality up a little bit. So do you notice anything trending within the industry?
Oh my goodness. I feel like I think dancing in general is trending in the industry right now. I feel like with social media, everybody's doing a new dance challenge or new something. I think the best new trend that we've had recently is that there's been more like outreach and deeper projects. Like I've noticed that dance hasn't just been your typical just at the studio or this. I've been seeing so many people kind of cross over to different avenues, that they're finding an amazing videographer or somebody who does great with visual works, and then they're creating like these dance movies in a way, but they're like short clips. They're like 2 minutes long, and it's the most amazing visual thing that you can see. So I feel like that trend is really cool right now because there's so many opportunities. So that to me has been the coolest thing, is seeing how dance and film is kind of coming together.
I'm sure, and that's got to be very exciting for you with the dance background for sure. So you mentioned you were in the Keys for a little while. Where were you from originally? Not Southwest Florida, were you?
So I actually grew up with a father who was an Olympic swimmer. He
Wow.
went to the 92 and 96 Olympics. And so I was born in 94. So I was born into traveling all around the States when he was training. When I was 6, he got the job as an aquatic director. And so we were in North Carolina at that time and then moved down. But I lived in about 9 or 10 different states before Florida.
Wow. So you've been around. So now you're in Southwest Florida. What brought you here?
My husband did. He wasn't my husband at the time. We were just dating. We met our freshman year of college in Tampa. And then he got a job at Gartner down south here in Fort Myers. And so he was like, we're going to go to Fort Myers. I was like, that sounds great. I don't know what's in Fort Myers, but I'm excited to see it. As long as there's water I can get to, that's all that matters. So been super cool. And it's been the best opportunity. Never saw myself here, and I don't see myself leaving.
That's awesome. That is awesome. So owning a business can be very demanding, not of just resources, but your time. What you enjoy when you get a free minute of time, other than being with your children?
I guess my favorite thing would be just being in the water or by the water. There's something that is so mesmerizing about snorkeling and surfing, or just hearing the waves hit the beach, or just being in a pool. So if I'm not teaching at the studio, I guess you would find me in the water. So anything water related, whether it's water sports or just sitting by and reading a book by the water, that's where I'd be.
I love it. Being outdoors. That's why we live down here in Southwest Florida. So is there one thing you wish our listeners knew about Zero Gravity Dance Center that maybe they don't know?
What I would love listeners to know, what separates us from other studios, is that we are the biggest supporter for other studios. I grew up in a small town of the Florida Keys, and it's all about holding up your neighbors, building it together. So for me, it's kind of like going to an Italian restaurant. You might like this one, I might like this one, but guess what? You're still going to get good pasta where you go, and you're going to be happy. So for me, Zero Gravity is truly about building a community of artists. And artists, there's not a lot of them in the world, or there are that are so underappreciated, and it's just because no one starts lifting each other up. So I feel like with Zero Gravity, we're trying to really build better humans and better dancers and individuals, so they know that we're always trying to give out love, light, positivity at all times. So that's what kind of separates us, I think, or in the sense of what people don't realize. They're like, oh, you teach dance and acrobatics. And we're like, yeah, we do. But we also are trying to teach about being good people. So, yeah.
And that's important. More people need to be doing that today. Positive vibes. That's what it's all about. That's it. So how would our listeners go about contacting you if they wanted to learn more, come in and take some lessons?
If you want to find out more about Zero Gravity, I highly recommend you going on our website, which is zerogravitydancecenter.com. You can also send us an email, or you can go email, that's right, or go on Instagram, social media. We're pretty much all over, and it's just always going to be the full name, zerogravitydancecenter.com. And you can also call us at 239-688-1078.
Yay, there we go. Perfect. Well, it's been a pleasure getting to know you, and thank you for being such a good neighbor, and I hope to see you out in the community soon.
Yes, I agree. And I really do appreciate you reaching out and giving us the time and opportunity to collaborate and get to know one another. I think you're doing a great thing for Estero, and the Fort Myers community. So
Yes.
love it.
Thank you for what you're
being
doing.
so nice.
Oh, yeah. She's a cutie. Take care. Have a good day.
Say bye.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast Estero. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpestero.com. That's gnpestero.com. Or call 239-296-2621.